Welcome back to my lovely HP community and the 5D Collective to conclude our lovely day on love and romance and intimacy. So, internally securely attached people are those lovers that are in our 5D Collective. We have some voice stories, maybe messages. I was thinking of sharing that channel guidance, but I'm gonna stick to the theme, which is you empowering your feminine and all of people. So that means empowering your inner child to finally come out and be in an actual, this case, more than just your solo self. When I saw these two individuals as they talked about women being empowered because they were alone, I was like, yeah, that's not really how that works. But I know who they are and I know who they're talking to, like the 3D, 4D, and I know who I'm talking to. So again, empowered feminines, we know what love is because we have loved ones. So it's because we have gone into a serious relationship saying, okay, so here I am this XYZDFG, BFMLP, and I want to give us a go. What do you say? Are you giving a go? Yeah. Okay, so that's how easy it is. It doesn't get harder for an empowered feminine. Actually, just gets more fun to spot the dicks. And I'm being funny right now. So what I mean is when you have the individuals who are not empowered feminines and they back out and come in and go and basically do all that stuff. The poet's work is to feel immensely and not be afraid. The 5D poet's work is, in fact, not to be tragic, unlike the human suffering individuals who still drag pain points around. So, what I can tell you all about the love and romance that comes from being a 5D mystic self empowered feminine is that being yourself gets easier and easier because you're always in the state of safety from your 0 1 year old. So, my inner child, she committed, I committed to myself. That's why there's no such thing as failure. Maria doesn't fail. Nope, she just learns. Thanks, Sadhguru. Yep, lessons. Also, I don't know everything. Nope, I know the doorway to seeking and knowing. So when I share the empowered feminine, that's me. Subjective experiences, right? 5D mystic. So again, 5D Christ consciousness. Jesus taught me all about forgiving and turning the other cheek, which I enjoy doing, by the way, because the state of safety is my joy. Because I don't like to be unkind. And when I have people being dicks, I'm okay with that because I know Stephen Porges, who explains to me that biologically rude people don't own the vessel to their heart and they don't own the vessel at all. They don't even own the thread because their insula is underactive. So their heart is completely playing out their 0 1 year old and their 3 year old, and the teenager is being the dick because he's spiting, or she or they, their own self, but then the unconditionally loving, not what they didn't get. Okay, so Peter Levine will talk about it as a bird with a broken wing who goes into the cave where the cat is. Patrick Tiahan will talk about it in a way of somebody continuing to date their trauma, childhood trauma, and he also shows how couples make sense of their Diego family. So when you have people who are men, women, days, all of it. And then Terry Real will talk about it as unfinished business. So 5D Collective is none of that. Empowered women know that we're empowered thanks to being able to be nurturers together, and so are empowered men. So we all have secure attached 1 year olds inside, and that's why we're gooey. And we don't be like, ew. So a masculine will understand, ew is because I was raised in a environment that tells me that I shouldn't have feelings, but I do, and I have child parts. Okay, so that's why, as I said yesterday, get curious. And if feminine doesn't work for you, you say, I have 6 basic human emotions and I'm choosing to be in my bilaterally integrated, vertical integrated brain, and integration is important. And to be able to be myself, my next step is beyond the solo self. And that's why the good therapists, they all will share therapy's great, but then it's time to get out and do it. And one attachment figure, very bare minimum. And this is why romance is important for healing. Okay, so anyone who's serious about making it into their whole self, they don't need a woman, man, or they. No, but they will want to attempt getting a secure attachment figure relationship, which means I want you to be my safe haven, secure base, because you, safe haven, my nervous system, When I'm feeling blue, all I have to do is take a look at you. Then I'm not so blue. Okay, so I'm feeling reassured, I'm safe. Might feel uncomfortable. I know why, because I didn't get it. That's the childhood trauma, and or maybe you got brokenhearted. Depends on your story. I don't have any of that, meaning that I know all of my lovely relationships. So if something comes up, I'd be able to say, yeah, this came up from this thing. Yeah, this thing came up from that thing. Yeah, this thing came from that. And I would definitely have the conversation, because why not? But that's where it's about the securely attached figure that I'm talking about. Remember my facade friend? So my facade friend is a perfect example of why I will spot the dick in you, and you won't know that I spotted it, because this is the part about where, like my facade friend, the lack of self-aware, accountable, regulating people. This is why it's not only romantic. If you're an internally securely attached person, you're sharing your 0 1-year-old without any kind of problemo. The minute that you bring me your asshole behavior, I'm gonna notice it, because you're not a gooey kind of love. No, you just acted like an asshole, which is your spiteful teenager. Because the other ones, basically, I'm not even gonna bother with that. Because anxious is not anxious. You just reassure it's okay, nothing happened, and that you leave it like that. But point is, you don't grow more intimate or less intimate. You just spot the flag that doesn't have, again, they're feminine online. There's no nervous system in a state of safety. There's the state of safety, ventral vagal state. There's a threat state. So they're in their safety behaviors, which means that we got Cusco. They're liars. So the people who don't want to securely attach, they will be deflecting, and that's how they do it. By basically acting in certain ways. That's why Stephen Porges, when he says the way that somebody responds to cues of safety, tells you if they're open to actively being in their own state of safety. That's why they will fall 3D 4D when they don't want to. Women who feel it's empowering to be all alone, the reality is they didn't grow comfortable with people. They're still judging people and whatever it is that happened, because the reality is you don't need to be alone to be in your coherent state, to use your brain. And actually, it's thanks to being with people that you get to learn to keep on being your own self. And true star, because we're all stars. A true star really is a person who what's the song? The Starlight one. Oh shit, I forgot it. But you know the one. I've been singing it. So it is catch a falling star and put it in your pocket. Never let it fade away. Catch a falling star and put it in your pocket. Save it for a rainy day. For love may come and tap you on the shoulder on some starless night. You may just want to hold her, him or they, and you've got a pocket full of starlight. So people who are afraid of love, they don't do anything about it. They just continue their unfinished business, which is why, again, 5D isn't that. 5D are people who are taking seriously bringing forth their true love, because they have it here first, and then with the psych education, it's very straightforward. If you are self-aware, accountable, regulating, you know that if you're being a dick, or you're being silent, or doing any of that, you're avoiding it on purpose because you're afraid. So for the people who have that, that's where right now their theme is not going solo. If they want to be empowered, it's I'm going to build a healthy self-worth beyond the solo self-relationship, because I know I have a person in mind, or two, depends on what your status is, but that are securely attachment figures. So I know that I feel gooey with them, they feel gooey with me. I know that I can share with them secure base, my world, because we share interests. That's why any relationship can work out. But the reality is not all people will be always interested in all people, which is why rejection can happen. And as a feminine, I can tell you it's not something disappointing to try it out, because I'm not afraid to love. Again, the poet feels immensely for a reason, though, without tragedy. It's a 5D land here. It's called I love to love, and my baby, he loves to dance, and he loves to learn, and he loves to love and expand, and woohoo, hey, so what's up, Cusco? Oh, you here again, are you? I'm having a good time, though. Sure, yeah, and then eventually, hey, Pacha, so listen, this shit happened to me yesterday. I need you. Can you come over? Thank you. or Pacha, 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 I really, really need you. I'm so sorry. And that happens too. It's just really fun. That's the fun of having a safe haven, secure base. One or the other, they're incomplete, but it's okay because those are called secure connections. And that's how a solo poly does it. And that's with twin flames too, by the way. And that's really something. Side note, side note. So, long story short, for those of you who are tuning in from our lovely past weeks, again, it's time to love and to romance, but you can't love a romance if you don't believe you can make it. It's something beautiful to be able to be intimate. My facade friend shared with me a very important lesson of how to know that you can share your heart and soul with someone and it not mean anything. And it's not his fault that he still has abandonment, rejection, and childhood shit. No, he's just like any other Cusco out there who is continuing to live their unfinished business with the 3D 4D collective and with all those other soul age groups. So again, it's not something called bad. Nope, not at all. It's called no free will. Thanks, Robert Sapolsky. And that their first 3 years of life have completely been disregarded by them as something that they want to take ownership with and on because they don't believe that the nervous system has anything to do with it. So they don't believe in needing to learn to self-regulate. And they don't believe that their teenager is a dysregulated version of themselves, so they don't believe their dick behavior has an actual way to get out of it. Instead, there is. It's called, excuse me, confusing shit. No, it's called, oh, look, left and right. I'm going to get to make them work together because I say, hey, she's not confusing shit. Her name's Maria. She's doing shit, which is her own shit. And that's why differentiated selves come together at IHP 5D. So I get to be me, you get to be you. And that's why it's in good company. And then we get to have a good time. So, to conclude, a person who's being a dick but doesn't want to be a dick because they know I'm being a dick because I'm actively afraid, they're going to say, hey, I was being a dick and I have been being a dick and I did do a lot of dick shit and I'm going to stop with that. But the point is, people who are afraid to love, they actually have mannerisms that are completely unnecessary. If they're aware, then they stop. If they want to love, then they come forth. And if they don't, then they don't. And that's okay. Empowered feminine won't be pointing it out. In fact, that's exactly why I have a fun time with all people. And then I know who are my choices, and they will have known who they are. That's because I don't shy away from love. And I always say, sure, if it is the one or ones or people that I'm in. If it's not, then I say, you know what, I'm honored. I'm really honored, but no, this is not. And when people have said, but you don't know, no, I do know. I trust my gut, not yours. Thank you so much. So we all know what we want, and we all know that we can be rejected. That doesn't stop us from taking a leap of faith. And that's when you want to truly love, and that's because you also know I am worthy, and I can, and I am capable of having 2 hands and 2 feet and being a secure attachment figure for another person because that's what I want. And that's how people will heal trauma, whether they choose to commit to something that is monogamous or polyamorous. It's the securely attached people who commit. Death do part, sickness and in health. The promise is a promise because the people that promise it have integrity, but it's because they have self-awareness, accountability, and regulation. And they're not afraid to talk about things. So even if there's something going on, hey, you know what? I'm actually having a situation when it comes to my appreciation. And it won't be like a little, report card of let me insult you. It will be sensitive. It'll be something any one of us will want to continue to be there for each other, which is why I don't believe that polyamory solves anything. Secure attachment helps people to be able to have genuine relationships. And when you build genuine relationships, you stay in those relationships. And you know what happens when it's a genuine relationship? I know I'm not the one for you, and I know you're not the one for me, and I know that we had a good run. But I know that our run is over, like when I was being broken up with a while back in a different way. But still, when they said what they said, I'm like, you know what, you're right. Just the same way I would know who I am completely not compatible with and would be like, look, my heart still feels really, really awesome with you. But here, completely not. And it's not because it's changed. It's that we're on different pages from an intellectual and the way that, so, again, we share 24 hours. If you are committing to something, you share wanting to be supported. So it's not a done deal. The ones who maintain interest is because we tickle our brains, our thoughts, our emotions, our fancy. And those do exist. There's plenty of them. Monogamists, monoamorists, and polyamorists, not all polygamists. because love is not only between each other, but then there's the actual bond that is going to keep going. And that's the part of it's not a fairy tale. It's a truth between people. However many ways we will continue to learn how to love. It hasn't changed from yesterday. It's gotten better because now we know about securely attached inner world and people being able to bring forth their best self because they have a child self that is whole and they have their subconscious and conscious together and say, hey, I got a bilaterally integrated brain. Let's have some fun, mystics and or not. And that's why Oversoul is amazing. So tune on in for more. Like, share, and subscribe if you will. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't when I'm doing the mixes of the channel guidance and messages. And again, loving to love, really awesome. So we'll be back with more. Have a good one.